This is the post-live show. Run down the recap.
Turned out you had these T-shirts printed, right? That were like making fun again, continuing the height joke.
And then we had our mate Mike Winnett on.
Yeah, Mike. He bought us all cocktails afterwards as well. You can tell he's part of the. He's doing well for himself. Put it that way.
And then we had Mrs. Beard on stage, didn't we?
Yeah, she didn't even really know that she was going to be on stage until that. Like, I was supposed to brief her, but I told her as she was getting ready. So we did a chug challenge, right?
Chugging challenge, yeah.
Well, that first dude, he necked it. To say he really kind of came across like he was nervous about it. He necked it really quick. He then did nearly throw up, and it came out of his nose a bit.
The performance, mate. The end of the show, if you were on deck.
I put it on the line, man. I put it on the line. I mean, I knew it was going to sound terrible. I'm normally pessimistic, and I was thinking it's all right because Josh will turn around and be like, "That was ace, mate." He turned around and he was like, "That was a fucking mess." Hi, madam.
And I'm Josh.
And we're your hosts here on the Breaking Bread podcast. I'm the hairy whinger, he's the lanky ginger, and this is a brand new episode. First things first, how's it going, old buddy, old pal?
Look at how fucking happy you are. You're buzzing with that line, aren't you?
That took me a little while to conjure that up this morning, but how you doing?
Mate, I'm good. I'm riding the high.
Yeah, I'm in a good mood this morning.
Yeah, we're riding the high from the live event.
That's not why I'm in a good mood.
Oh, why?
I mean, obviously that's a contributory factor.
Did you go bombs away this morning with Mrs. Beard? Bombs away!
No, I'm not really a morning person in that respect. Anyway, no, I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy this morning because I awoke to an email confirming that two rather substantial TikTok accounts, either pretending to be me or just purporting to be like a fan page, have this morning been deleted. So I'm comforted by the image of two pimply teens awaking this morning. Think, oh, where's my account gone? Where's all my followers? Well, that's what happens when you nick stuff that isn't yours.
Rightfully done, yeah. I'm pretty sure they won't make any money off the back of it, but...
No, but like someone, like one, Kate Ovens, friend of the show, Kate Ovens, messaged me in a bit of a tiz yesterday. She was like, "Oh, Adam, this video that's yours, but this other person's using it, has 2 million views in a day." I was like, shit, if that were YouTube, then that would be some coin.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But yeah, I just don't like the fact that people are nicking stuff, and because they could say anything if people think it's me.
It's a wild thing, and it is the whole plagiarism of this modern art form. Even like the big accounts, your lad Bibles and things, they try to. Their way of doing it is asking for forgiveness rather than permission.
Yeah, that's
or also just sort of like wangling it like it's a benefit to you.
Lad Bible have been in line since they tried to. They did something a while back, and I got a lawyer to send him a letter saying never do this again.
Damn right, because one thing you know about Lad Bible as an example, as them pages, they're just ploughed with ads. So even when you're scrolling through, there's adverts everywhere. Like somebody's paying that's getting paid for, and you're not getting the money.
Yeah.
So yeah, fair cop, mate. I'm glad that's
yeah, that put me in a good mood this morning. But also,
pitched a tent in your bed for you. Well done.
Yeah. So yeah, but you're doing all right. But post live show, I mean, this will sound probably weird because we did actually do an episode went up after the live show, which we kind of almost half pretended.
We didn't pretend.
Well, no, we didn't really.
We didn't pretend.
But it went up after the live show. We paid lip service to the live show, but that was actually before the live show. But this is actually really after the event. This is the
post live show. Run down the recap.
Yeah.
But before we get started, mate, announcement. So this podcast is officially 1 year old, which is why we did the live show. You know, that was one of the, somehow we've lasted a year. There should probably be 52 videos online, but I'm pretty sure they're in. And I'm also sure we've miscounted them, haven't we?
Someone fucked up somewhere and skipped a number.
That should be like under the, the Breaking Bread logo, like in little writing, someone fucked up somewhere.
Yeah.
A slogan.
So there is, we've done a nominal amount of shows, but we've set up a Patreon. So everyone's aware of, like, it might sound like a shambles when we're doing it, but bags of effort goes into this show, of which we've sort of done as best to keep going. But we want to go into this new year and sort of double down on it. More will become clear as we roll into the actual next calendar year, but into this following year now of Breaking Bread. We've set up a Patreon so that if you want to support the show, it's the lowest amount. The tier is literally whatever the lowest amount is.
He's rationalising it to me because he knows that I don't like asking for money. But I get why, because like I'm sure you're about to say, it's either that or we try to sell you a fucking George Foreman grill or something, or like some Manscaped ball shavers as we keep going on about.
Yeah, it's either that or you listen to us tell you how great a HelloFresh box is. So, we'll see if Patreon works first. But seriously, if you do, like, there's no pressure. Obviously, we'll continue with the show, but we do want to try and up the production, especially going into this next year. So if you want to support, there's the links in the first one below. It would be truly appreciated because we want to go all out on this thing.
To get out of the red after the live show. Because like, not only do we lose money doing the show, but I heard that some people, I won't name names, might have nicked some of the merchandise. At the end of the evening, there's some lurkers who like ran off with a bit of coffee. That's not, I mean, we couldn't give that away, to be fair. So
your family has nicked the coffee?
Yeah, some of my
Fuck's
family.
sake.
And so I saw people at the end of the night like, oh, did you buy a t-shirt? Because you were selling those like Beard Hasbulla shirts.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, bought a t-shirt, yeah. And I think he's after that really hard bloke. What's his name that was manning the merch?
Danny the fighter.
Danny, who was a very nice lad. I think he might have gone off to take advantage of a few of the free beers on offer. And when that happened, people kind of pounced on the table and nicked some stuff.
We are the worst entrepreneurs. Like, in business, I'm like, in my own business, I'm all right. But with this show, it's been nothing but a shambles. Like, from start, the live show. What you're gonna understand throughout this episode is, we've probably underestimated what we'd let ourselves in for, in both staff, people, finances. We bought everyone a beer, which I forgot to tell everybody. So when they went into the bar afterwards, there were beers there for everybody.
I noticed there were a few people who got wind of that and then took full advantage.
Yeah.
And they got 10 of the beers instead of just like 1 or 2. But
well, let's start off by mentioning those. So the people that had the best time above the fans were the wags, the wives and girlfriends. Got absolutely
plastered, right? They were obliterated. I haven't seen that Jenna that drunk. That's my sister Beard. She hasn't been that drunk since, I can pinpoint it must be about roughly 15 years ago, when outside the dry dock in Leeds, she got so drunk that she fell over. And you know, like your natural reaction when you fall over is to put your hands in front of your face and stop. She fully face planted right into the floor, face first. I thought she's got to be missing teeth when she gets up. She wasn't. She landed in mud. That probably helped. But that's the last time I saw that drunk. She was wasted.
She was on wobbly legs, and I'd not met her before. So weirdly, in this world of social media and the things that we do, we'd have conversations back and forth on Instagram. Obviously, she's seen me on the podcast. I've seen her on your channel. So when we met in person and she were wrecked, she sort of grabbed me by my face and she was like, oh my God, I can't believe we've not met before, because she was bollocksed. And by the end of the night, she was really drunk and she like were hugging me. I think her husband had to like peel her off everybody, and they sort of just, bounced off like ding, 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 ding on all the way home.
Yeah.
My wife as well got absolutely wrecked.
She was spangled, wasn't she? I know, because she was like, she wanted she came up, do you remember at the end of the night, and they were trying to, I think they were playing like some awkward hug game. Because like I think they thought like I'm not a huggable bloke, and she came up with, I think there was like some kind of bet in place. I would tell her
and
fuck
Mrs.
off.
Beard, yeah.
I thought, I can't do that to my co-host's wife, can I now? So I just stayed there and tolerated her. It was a bit of a pointy hug.
Yeah, well,
she keeps herself in good shape, doesn't she?
She does, yeah. Pointy.
It wasn't like I'm used to kind of hugging people, it being quite soft. I was like, this is kind of a ripped body here that I'm hugging. It's a pointy hug.
That was at 2 a.m. in Alchemist. So Mrs. G officially lost a full day of her life because of that. So I thought, she's not drunk much since having a kid. She couldn't drink before having a kid, but then this is probably like one of the biggest nights out she's had post-child. And she went hard. She went full entertainment. Like,
she was passing the cocktails at the end.
Yeah, good value for money. But as soon as that Uber door closed, her face just went dead straight. I'm like, you're right, babe. And she's like, nope. I'm like, what's wrong? She's like, feel sick. So I'm like, oh shit. So there's 20 minutes home, 15 minutes home. Immediately starts throwing up. And she threw up from what would have been like maybe 2 a.m. through till lunchtime the day after, and then stayed in bed just feeling ill. So all she had on the Saturday was 2 slices of white bread and Lucozade, and she stayed in bed all the time until Sunday morning till like 9 a.m. So imagine losing that much of your life from being hungover.
That'll do you no good, man. If you're hungover, you need to get out and go for a brisk walk.
But she didn't even come downstairs. She literally stayed upstairs. That was it.
That compounds the issue, I think. You have a couple of electrolytes, get out for a walk. You'll feel a bit better by afternoon, I think.
How was Mrs. Beard?
She was all right, surprisingly. But it's hard to tell because she spends so much time asleep anyway. Like the day after, I don't think I saw her till afternoon, but that would be normal. So I couldn't tell you that's because of the booze. I think she was all right. Yeah,
quality. Right. Well, we'll start this podcast as we start every other podcast with a YouTube comment.
It's time for a YouTube comment from you,
George. I want this to be your segment, mate. I want you to read the YouTube. People loved you. People loved meeting you.
I know, that was so strange.
You are part of the show.
Like, people knew who I was. I was like, are you sure? Like, you wanted me to sign their shirts? I'm like, really?
Yeah, somebody had to sit through an autograph.
Serious? Good.
What's the comment, mate?
So the comment is from the Halloween episode that we put out last week. Last week. I'm still getting used to doing that. It's from Stuart Toop. Adam's dreams almost came true. So I think this is in relation to, in the Halloween episode, you said you had a nightmare about...
Nightmare about doing the live show, not everything went wrong.
And he said, Adam's dream almost came true. PA system fails. Mega off-pitch singing. Crowd confused but loving it. Great cast again, lads.
Yeah, it did. Maybe I'm a clairvoyant. It almost came perfect true. Because another thing that was supposed to happen, right? I'm fully aware that... I can carry the problem with that song, right? The garlic bread song is we closed. If you weren't there, we closed the show with a live performance of the garlic bread song, right? Which I did not want to do, but that song is so close to outside. I can carry a bit of a tune, George, right? You probably sing a little bit,
yeah.
But I'm kind of more in that Johnny Cash register, you know, like I keep my eyes wide open all the time. That's reasonably in tune, right? But that's
crooner.
Like. Yeah, kind of a, I don't know if I say crooner, but that's really like high, right? So I'm saying to George, like, can I do it low? And we were like tinkering with the idea of doing like a like a slowed down version for a bit. But anyway,
I think I'm in love.
Yeah, like that, yeah, right. But like a Mike Flowers pop style thing, but we didn't do that, right? And I just kind of belted it out. And we've been talking for an hour, right? So it was way off. But what was supposed to help was because George can actually really sing, was a really talented musician. Yep. And he's supposed to thicken it out with a bit of harmonies and whatnot. And I'm singing this halfway through, and I'm thinking, I can't fucking hear anything. But I can certainly see that George ain't singing this until about halfway through he kicks in. And then it's all right. And obviously Josh was supposed to be doing the garlic bread as well. He didn't get a mic. The mic was booted or something, right?
It was I picked up the bass before the mic, so I just committed to...
But luckily, a lot of the crowd kind of got behind even though it was terrible, I'm sure, to listen to. And they were singing along, right? But yeah, it was...
If we're going to talk about the performance, then let's go into that first, because we didn't say that we were going to do this live show until a month before, right? And at that point, the show was not written. We'd not booked the venue, and that's when we launched it. And it was at that point when I started writing the show, I said, we must perform garlic bread. And like, to Adam's annoyance, I'm horrendously optimistic about most things, like my ability to do things, say things, bring stuff to life. And I said, let's perform it. And also, obviously, somebody had to play an instrument. So you were like, I'll do guitar, George on drums, you're going to have to play bass. And I don't play bass, never played bass, ever. So in 3 weeks, I had to learn how to play the garlic bread song on bass.
Which to be fair, you got most of it right, but you did fuck up the room in the middle.
Yeah, I missed the pre-chorus. It was very intense, mate. It was only the night before that I literally remembered it. I remember the night before at the rehearsal.
Because you were saying, right, I need my cue sheet. And I'm like, lad, it's a cinema. Like, it's going to be fucking pitch black. You won't be able to see it. But yeah, not that you're writing that. But I mean, I think people enjoyed it, right? That part of it. But I was, to talk about, if we're talking about the show, we both came off stage. I thought it was awful.
Yeah.
I was really, because I said to you right before it starts, and actually in the last episode, I was like, I'll be happy if people pay 25 quid and they're just happy with what happens. And it was, because I think it was largely my fault, right? Because all the planning, I had not been at, you kept joking like, oh, you should have been there for those meetings, but I wasn't, right? So I didn't know what to expect. So I think a lot of it was kind of lost, and it was late in the day as well. So I'm normally ready for bed. Like, I don't sleep until like late, early morning, right? But I'm getting tired about 8 o'clock, right? I'm not full of beans. So I felt kind of bad, like I'd not been entertaining enough. But afterwards, we came off stage, right? We rushed backstage, and I was thinking, like, I'm normally pessimistic, and I was thinking it's all right because Josh will turn around and be like, "That was ace, mate." He turned around and he was like, "That was a fucking mess," and I was like, "Oh God, no!" Because then I'm thinking I've got to go out and meet everyone and just apologize, then, right?
Yeah.
But when we went outside, everyone's said that they loved it. So
this isn't even like an attempt at humility. So when we were up there, I don't know if it was the acoustics of the room, the pressure of what we were doing, and it was quite overwhelming. Like we wanted, a couple hundred people there. We sold it out, but we didn't actually know what that looked like until they were there, and we were on this tiny stage, and these lights are beaming on us. And it was, for me, it was so intense to try and, like, I host this show, right? So like I'll sort of move us on, and that was my role in that. I'd written it, I'd got the segments, and I was trying to just keep the no dead air. That's kind of the goal. No dead air, crack a couple of jokes. But that pressure was so intense that I felt like I was just tunnel vision for the whole over an hour. So when I came off stage, it's almost like I'd forgot that any jokes had been cracked, anybody had laughed. Like, it was just a blur. So when I came off, mate, I was like, we fucked it. And you said it, you were like, we should have just done a Q&A. That's the first thing you said.
Yeah, because I felt like, and we haven't, as far as I'm aware, we haven't had any emails from people demanding their money back, right?
Nope.
No? You tell me, right, if we had.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, and that's afterwards, everyone's like, would you do it again? And like people were messaging saying, I'll take it on the road. And I was just like, no, man, no way. But I think if we did it again, at the very least, we could
rehearse.
Rehearse, and I could be more involved and try and perform. Not the song better, just the actual show. The song was always going to be a shit show. But.
I think we've both been really harsh on ourselves. Like the feedback. I mean, George, you watched it, and objectively speaking, what did you think?
Well, we were watching it back yesterday, the footage that we captured, and the jokes landed. People seemed to have a good time. There was like footage of the audience's reactions to what you were saying and what you were doing. Yeah. All positive. Yeah. I talked to loads of people on the night. All positive. Nothing bad to say.
I feel like people probably wouldn't say negative shit though, would they?
I think they would.
I was waiting for one person at queue to say, yeah, that was a wank, mate.
So James
tried, but that was terrible. But nobody did.
James, who did that live sort of media behind us, he said, he's like, if it was shit, the first people that tell you are the people that have paid to be there, which is like a valid point, actually. If you've paid for something and then you say it's shit, they're going to, it's not like a free thing where they go, it'll do. Do you know what I mean? It's you've paid. So, yeah, man, I guess we go again. Yes.
If we did it again, I think we could make it
yeah, we can make it.
I think a bit like I'm like you. I was pretty overwhelmed by it because the first part for me.
That's quite an admission on his part.
Yeah, it takes a lot to kind of to elicit any kind of emotion in me. But when the because we did the pre-video, right, which we could hear people laughing at. So I was well, actually, the first thing that happened is it went wrong. Right, there was a sound tech problem, and I just looked at him and I was like, fuck. Like, if the sound starts going wrong, we're done here. I can't shout to a room full of 200 people. But yeah, then the video played, which had some funny moments in, right? And then I'm supposed to come out at the end of that video. And when I did that, and everyone starts like clapping and whatnot, and I'm just like, what, man? Like, all I do is eat food on the internet. I find that really kind of, it wasn't a natural environment to me. And then when I go up on stage and I'm sat there, I'm not nervous. I wasn't nervous, right? Because like my sister and Linz knew about the finale. That was supposed to be a surprise. But like, oh, you're nervous? I'm like, no, I don't give a shit because the only thing that's going to happen is I'm going to embarrass myself, and I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
But it was like on stage when you see all those people out there, and you look up at the gallery and that's full as well, and I'm just like, fucking hell, these people are real. You know, they're not just numbers. But yeah, for people that did come out to the show, or the people that said they wanted to, because a lot of people messaged me saying we couldn't make it. Thank you. It really, for us, that was something really, really special that night. Yeah,
well, like, it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable, and it was like it was bucket list. Like, who else gets to do that, really? You know. So it was like I'm itching to do it again because I were almost like trying to direct on stage one of George, because I'm saying like, can we have some background? You know, like. You don't know until you're doing it, right? And then I'm sort of critiquing as I'm going along. I'm thinking, right, this would be better with background music. This section could be better with this, you know. And
you were ace though. Don't you think he was really good?
Yeah, really.
I thought he would. Cause I don't naturally look at Josh and think this is a dude that could be like a TV presenter or something like that. I think his grammar's fucking appalling. His voice gets a bit much, you know. But like on the night, he was great, and I was the one that under-delivered, but he was really good, and I think he didn't really take enough credit for that. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like in the event, you'd be thinking, oh, that would have been better like that, or that would have been better like that.
With rehearsals, that would have come together though.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I'll tell you.
Exactly.
my fault.
But again, the venue weren't the best. Like
It's a nice venue. It wasn't right for what we were doing.
No, we
though.
needed a bigger stage.
People were comfortable though. I mean,
They
they
were.
got those
Sofas, man.
I tested out the seats; they were pretty comfy. So
How funny was it? Like, so there was no backstage as well. Here's an exclusive for the Audible listeners. We were in a fucking corridor, right? So hopefully George can overlay some pictures for all this event so people understand what we're saying. So we were stood in this corridor for 45 minutes and we'd been nailing a couple of beers just because we were shitting his pants. But naturally, like, you need to piss, right? So he's the first one to piss in a bottle. So he fills this bottle up with piss and then I'm going, oh no, I need a piss. So then I got a pint pot and pissed in a pint pot. So at the end of it, there's like a full bottle of piss and 3 pint pots full of piss.
there's so much warm piss back there.
in this corridor, like we didn't get a green room. They weren't like, you know, blue M&Ms that we'd selected on the table.
And then remember Matt, the photographer, is like, "Can we get a picture?" I'm like, "Yeah, just point this way so that we don't have the piss cups in the background."
The first gag though, mate, like, what did you think to the t-shirt? How funny was that?
Yeah, I wonder what was going on because you showed up, right, and you were wearing a t-shirt and it was you kind of duct taped over
I'd literally
something.
duct taped.
And I thought you'd done that originally for continuity because we shot this video, right, which was supposed to be a funny, or we're not at the event, and it was supposed to like lead into on the screen us coming out, or you know, we forgot to turn up to a live event and that, you know, our journey there. And I thought it was for continuity, like you were wearing the Vans shirt or whatever, and now you're not wearing a Vans shirt, so you were just making it a black shirt. And then we got there, and it turned out you had these T-shirts printed, right, that were like making fun, again, continuing the height joke. Luckily, quite a lot of people at the event did defend. Said, "No, he's just average height." So that was quite satisfying.
There were a lot of heckles though, some funny heckles about how short you were. Yeah. When the bit with the fathering fails where your daughter were in a little outdoor garden shed, you're like, Adam won't fit in there.
Yeah, because I said, I'll make a gag at someone. Hey, I said something that looks like a nice shed that. You couldn't live there though. Something like that.
But yeah, because I saw that as soon as I saw this t-shirt, and we'll put it on screen, and it's Hasbulla, and it's almost like he's sat in your top pocket, and I was like, we have to, and it was a fucking tight turnaround to try and get them printed. But we managed to get.
Didn't they fuck up the
They kind of
printers?
fucked up a little bit, yeah. But we're gonna.
It's all right. People just nicked them anyway.
Yeah,
so
people-
at least they nicked stuff that we wouldn't have actually been able to sell to anyone.
But I think that should be like a staple of our. If we ever do merch, if we can ever get them produced correctly, we should sell those because that's a funny piece of merch that.
I thought it was good. The design was, the actual drawing was decent.
And then we had, so we did a couple of gags, we did a bit of a Q&A, read out some comments, YouTube comments, and then we had our mate Mike Winnett on.
Yeah, Mike. He bought us all cocktails afterwards as well. You can tell he's part of the. Well, he's doing well for himself. Put it that way.
He's part of the inner circle, so that's the 3rd time he's been part of the show, and what a legend for coming over and stepping up. Because again, like it's we didn't announce, and it wasn't even like a sabotage attempt, or we just didn't announce that who the guests were. We just thought we'd just get people as guests and just sort of what will be. So he felt the pressure, I think, when he got up there.
You would. I felt like I said to Mike, thanks for coming on, because I thought people there might be like, not who's Mike, because I guess a lot of people there would have listened to the podcast, but he probably felt like a bit of a fucking idiot, didn't he, getting up on stage in front of all these people and thinking.
He said that afterwards, but people enjoyed what he had to say. Like, I mean, he's a fucking interesting dude, and he's interesting and he's funny. So, like, he did really well, and I was glad. To be honest, at that point, I got a bit of a breather, you know, because I got to like ask a couple of questions, just sort of, take some oxygen.
I wish he told that story. Did you hear the story he told afterwards? He didn't tell it on stage. He told us when we were having a drink afterwards that he like gone on a date, and then some woman had brought like a dog with her, but then ordered the dog people food, and the dog was just sat there like lapping up the feet, and he's like, "What the fuck is this weird?" But you didn't tell that story on stage.
We said that if we do a Christmas special, we'll get Mike over to be part of like the Christmas debrief, because he's officially part of the crew now. So
yeah,
our intentions at Christmas is to have an extended episode, multiple guests, multiple copious amounts of alcohol, and then we'll let Josh.
I want to do that the whole thing I want to get by in there is just I'm going to get a taxi here, right? And then we're just going to get fucking wankered. like as we do a podcast and see what, because that kind of lends itself to the fact that we don't really plan shit and it's just always chaos.
Yeah.
Think of how much more chaotic it will be with booze, right? And you know what I love at Christmas? Mead. You know, like Lynn's bought me this Christmas mead and I've got like 6 litres of it at home.
Get it in, mate. And last year you were on the mulled wine, so we'll just go, you just fart.
So I ate a lot over the last 2 days. It's all meat too, so it's probably going to smell really bad. Sorry.
We'll go all out. We'll do the Christmas mead. We'll do mulled wine.
Mulled wine, maybe a bit of eggnog. Oh man, imagine.
I've never had eggnog. I want to try it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I want to try it. You know, every time I think of eggnog, you did a video, right? And it must have been a spot. I want to say maybe like the chili peanuts one or something, back in your old house. Oh, mate.
I'm sorry.
Come on.
I'm so sorry.
No.
It's got to come out, man. Like, otherwise
No, it's not going to hold it. Like, these podcasts are only an hour or so. You're fucking shitting yourself. You fucking wankers. That's it. Who the fuck's...
What were you saying? Eggnog?
Yeah, you did a chili challenge, chili peanut challenge. Or
and then Lynn's bought me this eggnog that had been opened and not refrigerated. Like...
that's all you had. That's all... That's
at that point, I was
ingrained
like,
in my mind.
I don't care. Like, I'll just get food poisoning from this...
So yeah, if you're down for, if you think that'll be a good idea to do an extended Christmas episode where we get absolutely wrecked, we'll get all the fucking crew in, Mrs. Beard, Sister Beard. I said to my missus, I'm like, would you come on? She's like, no, I'll say corner up. I'm like, all right, fair one.
How terrifying was that part where you got that video message from Danny as well, you know, rate my takeaway? I was like, why the fuck is he so close? He had literally the camera. It was like a point of view sex video. Like you just
show
see
it on
his
screen.
face.
It's cursed, that. It's so cursed.
It's just he's like on a sunbed somewhere, and it's just like you can't see his full face. I'm like, dude, can you just hold it further away?
I love Danny. I ran into him the other day in town yesterday.
Do you?
I ended up chatting to him for like half an hour. He's a nice guy. He is a genuinely nice guy.
Thought, but I'm not saying he's not a nice guy. I just thought like it made it so terrifying that it was like close, and it was just this giant. He was like a giant Mr. Potato Head up on screen.
Yeah, he was.
No, then, guys, how you doing?
It looked like if you drew a smiley face on your thumb. That's what it looked like. He were in Orlando with his family, and because he wanted to come, he wanted to, like, as soon as he found out about it, he's like, now then, guys, I'm so sorry I couldn't be there. And I'm like, we didn't even invite you. I'm like, I'm only kidding. I'm like, send us a video, like, that'll be a cool segment. So I joked, I'm like, and his next guest is Rate My Takeaway, and everyone's like, and I'm like, nah, I'm only kidding. But he sent a video message, it's like it's a shit Oscars.
Via satellite.
Rate My Takeaway. And then we had Mrs. Beard on stage, didn't we?
Yeah, she didn't even really know that she was going to be on stage until that. Like, I was supposed to brief her, but I told her like as she was getting ready.
She's a good sport, is your missus, you know.
Yeah,
she's such a good sport.
I kind of drew a blank at that point. Remember, you asked me a couple of questions. I don't know what it was, like my critical thinking skills just left me, and you were like, "Give me a guilty pleasure," and I've probably got loads of guilty pleasures. But at the time, you were kind of rushing that on, and like we had plenty of time. You could have like let that breathe a bit, but I was like, "Oh fuck."
That's funny. You say, so it's funny you say that. He said it dragged on.
Oh, did
he
it?
said the Mr. and Mrs. dragged on.
I think that's because it was shit though. Because I think, like I think if I'd known about the questions, maybe I could have come in with some answer. I don't know what Mrs. Bates. I think she said maybe the fact that I love watching Bob Ross videos. Yeah. I don't think that's a guilty pleasure though. I should have said 1975 or
somebody heckled. So what the questions were? What's the weirdest thing or what's the worst thing that Adam said in bed? And somebody shouted, "Don't stop eating!" I know, like, that's fucking funny.
Yeah,
that's live. That's a live audience for you.
Yeah, once one person heckled, it was a free for all, wasn't it? I think my sister was the first person to start that.
She was, yeah.
Fucking calm down. Put the beer down.
I used your joke straight away on her husband, saying he looked like the head off Heart Attack.
Yeah, that only really lands if you know what he looks like, but he does look like the head from Heart Attack. Everyone knew it as soon as they saw him.
But yeah, so we had Mrs. Beard on stage. We did the Mr. and Mrs. And like you said, you fucking zoned out.
It was hard, man.
Yeah, but I'm like trying to sort of compare and just keep it sort of like ticking over.
And it didn't help.
I'm actually like, Adam, and you went, sorry, I zoned out there. Luckily, everyone found it funny, but I'm like, you fucking wanker.
We did. I was just off in like some happy place. But what made that worse is you had those whiteboards, right? Which I had to stop using because you couldn't wipe them down. You didn't get anything to wipe them.
I forgot about that.
George brings us over like a piece of fucking A4 paper.
I said,
what are you wiping with?
We got all props together and I thought, we haven't got any paper, like paper towel to wipe them off once you'd wrote on it once and then you just smearing it all over the place. So I'm like, George, get some paper to wipe this down. And he comes over with actual A4 paper.
got what you asked for.
And I ripped into you as well. What the fuck is that? And you can see his face like, how stressed
you
were
was
you?
the most stressed.
I was stressed as fuck. Like, everything went wrong from my standpoint as well. Like that, I think I wouldn't have done that in the normal circumstances, like just handed you actual
so
paper.
funny.
But because I'm like, as soon as you say something, I'm like, yep. I'm like, just straight off to go sort it. So you said paper, I went, right, needs paper. And it didn't run through my head, like, why you needed the paper.
George, I've got so much fucking respect for you, mate, because so for those that are listening and watching, George was literally George has been by my side for over a year, right? And like leading up to this event, for the podcast, everything, you've been there for every single part of it.
And yet you're still paying him minimum wage for the podcast.
But like you fucking stepped up there under like horrendous circumstances. So after, I can't remember before or after Mrs. Beard, I'm pretty sure after, we then did the eating challenge. So in the promo, I said, turn up with an empty stomach, you may need it, which more people than I'd care to admit took that quite literally and DM'd us constantly saying, do I need to not eat my tea? And I'm like, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you probably shouldn't have said that because it wasn't... also, but a lot of people feel faint if they don't eat food. Not everyone's like me. A lot of people, they go 2 hours without food and they can't handle it.
No, but I said it more as like just to just, you know, whet the appetite that there might be an eating challenge, you know. And so we did an eating challenge, and again, safety first. We figured...
I kind of vetoed it, right? It wasn't an eating challenge. It was a drinking. It was a chug challenge.
Because we figured somebody might die if they have to do a hot wing or...
Yeah, we couldn't afford private paramedics on site. So we did a chug challenge, right?
Chugging challenge, yeah.
And that was the part of the show I was most concerned about because I thought people might... Actually, my biggest concern was because we decided by booting out I got some sweet connections on those volleys. You see it? I thought I was going to smash somebody in the front row. I kind of half wanted to hit my sister just to like knock her out. But I booted some beach balls out into the crowd, and whoever it landed on when the music stopped was going to do the challenge. I thought that's kind of a bad way to do it because they might not... When they get up on stage, they might be like, I'm lactose intolerant, or I just don't want to do it. And you couldn't blame them for it. And at that point, they wouldn't want to back out because they're on stage. But they all took to it really well. And we apportioned them off to 2 people at Team Beard, 2 people at Team Josh. And naturally, my team won. But that first dude, he was like really worried about it. He's like, I don't know if I can do it.
Oh, really?
And then when George pulls out the milkshakes and they're chunky as fuck.
It was like...
They were so, like... They were just ice cream. So I poured it out. I spilt it all over the stage.
Noticed.
Like a massive dollop of ice cream just came out and just splashed everywhere. I was like, oh god.
Yeah, but the first dude especially. I mean, both lads were on my team. Were thanks to everyone for doing it. But both lads on my team, the winners, did really well. But that first dude, he necked it. To say he really kind of came across like he was nervous about it. He necked it really quick. He then did nearly throw up, and it came out of his nose a bit.
It were perfect though, because I think I want to say we were called Andy. That were a funny thing, you know. When like I'm trying to, I'm like, what's your name, mate? Like Andy, Jeff, Dave, Tom. And as soon as that name entered my mind, it disappeared. So I'm like, fuck, I can't remember any of the names. It's just too much pressure.
I was like that afterwards, like meeting people. Like the two guys that did the chug challenge. I was like, what's your name? He's like, Steve, I just did the chug challenge. I'm like, give me a break, mate. Like, you know what I mean? There's like 200 people here. I can't names and faces.
It was too much pressure. But yeah, I think I want to say we called Andy, and he went. So it couldn't have been any better because he had a Beard Army t-shirt on.
Did you get? There's a good picture of that if you want to overlay it.
Yeah, we'll overlay the pictures, and he nailed it, and it came out of his nose, and he had like a Hulk Hogan vanilla tash. And these were no joke; they were like 24-ounce milkshakes. So
I should have brought a better prize for that, you know, because I feel like they really put work in there, and I feel bad.
They all, I mean, I'm pretty sure they all won like a t-shirt and some. Like, they basically got any bit of merch that we had. I'm like, just take whatever you want. Yeah. that's how you win. But yeah, they smashed it.
If we do it again, I'll bring a. Maybe I'll do something mad like give away a grand. I won a grand, didn't I, for that? No, but like for the next show, that would be mad, wouldn't it? That'd be like real.
Nuts.
And you could put that on the promo, and it might make people come to the show.
Yeah,
like,
I'm gonna fucking do it. Me and George are in front of the queue. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
£1,000. Let's go.
The only reason I thought that is because I've just totally forgot that I won that a grand, didn't that contest. Wherever the fuck it was, and I haven't cashed it yet. I was like, oh shit!
Oh, the tamales, yeah.
But like, and I don't like, I don't want to. It'd be good to give that away, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
so
there you go. That's an exclusive. We will be doing it again, and there will be a cash prize of £1,000. You madman!
I think that's a good thing to do.
I think that's fucking class.
I'll tell you this: we're not doing like this ain't going to be like a fucking nationwide 60-date tour. So if we do it again, it'll be you know, it's not like it's going to be every week or whatever.
Yeah. Right, well, there you go. That's an exclusive for you. So thanks to everybody that did actually do the challenge and stepped up. Team Josh fucking shit out though. We lost both my boys.
People were so disappointed that you two didn't go head to head
Really?
and do it. Yeah.
We should.
I don't think you heard it on stage, but people were heckling like,
I heard that.
you do, and then when you like no, they were like, what?
Yeah, fair one.
Yeah, I did hear that. But well, next time, I just thought like if we do that, we'd have to put it right at the end because then my beer would be caked, and you'd probably be. You're not the best drinker on planet Earth, are you? So
Yeah,
like,
I fucking beat you. I actually think I beat you.
in a chug.
Yeah.
You wouldn't.
I would.
If I tried, you wouldn't.
I would.
There's no way you would.
I would.
You wouldn't, man. Like I've done a gallon in like fucking 20 seconds or something.
I'd beat you.
Well, there we go. All right, we'll get it in the next show. George, make a note of that.
I'm not even like. I actually think I'll beat you.
I'll beat you, and then I'll fucking tombstone you straight off the stage. we'll put one of those, that cheap fucking table that you brought. Put that in front of the stage, and then you're going in headlock.
You just reminded me. We played a game of bingo, and I fucking told you, George. I fucking said to you, didn't I? I said we've got to have different cards.
No, that's not how bingo works, though. You can't do that.
No, people do have different cards. Every bingo card has got different numbers on. It's a chance.
What happened is everyone won, didn't they?
So we did a bingo and everybody won at exactly the same time, and it just fucking erupted. And I was just like,
You all win.
we
merch.
fucked it. Everybody just got a t-shirt. We fucked it.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've spoke about it already, but the performance, mate, the end of the show, if you were on deck.
I put it on the line, man. I put it on the line. I mean, I knew it was going to sound terrible. But I mean, that's not really the point. The whole point is it was supposed to be like the rest of the show, an absolute shit show. But you lads left me hanging until like George decided halfway through, oh yeah, I should probably sing a bit.
He sang. There's a picture. There's a picture of him.
He did do it. He wasn't thickening out the vocals in the verse.
Problem is, mate, we didn't do a sound check because we didn't have time. And your speaker were on one side, my speaker were on the other side. George is on the floor.
I couldn't hear anything from your side of the stage, Adam, because no, it was just so far away. All I could hear was just my drums, and I couldn't even hear vocals, nothing.
Yeah, I as well as like because we had to prevent feedback. We had to leave the guitars kind of the volume button basically on the actual guitar down, and then I had to like put it up. But in doing that, I think somebody fucked with my guitar because it was on the neck pickup, which won't mean a lot to anyone, but it just comes across as like really warm and it doesn't kind of cut through what the mix is, right? And I only realised right when I'm about on the verse, and then I try to change it, and because it's a new guitar, I'm like, fucking, which way am I knocking it here? Like, and then like, I fucked up the tone, and so halfway through it kind of sounded a bit better than at the start, but not much better. Put it that way.
Mate.
But it was a laugh. I'd never thought I'd be doing the fucking garlic bread song live on stage in front of people. And if nothing else, I got some sweet pictures from it. So
yeah, we all looked like we knew what we were doing. I think that's like Instagram versus reality, isn't it? We all looked pretty cool.
It looked amazing.
But we were fucking shambles.
I'm like, I think I'm in love.
So did it like almost satisfy like a curiosity of yours to be able to perform live? Because the reason I wanted to put that in was because I know you're a big music fan. You've obviously done them songs, and I know it were a lot of pressure, more pressure for me than you, to be fair, because I didn't even play an instrument. But like, did it like satisfy you in any way that you got to perform live your song live?
It was not.
We could tell you were really excited about that.
Yeah,
you were serious?
No, yeah. But when you came to rehearsals, you were like, your face lit up. You're like, let's do it again. Let's do it again.
No. I'm saying let's do it again because he fucked up perpetually, and then he got it right once. He's like, right, lads, we're done. I'm like, no. That's not how it works. You need to get it right every time, and then every time he got it wrong, and on the night he got it wrong. But like, I knew it would be. It was not. The only thing I would say about that is it was nice to do it, and everyone be like, yeah, let's hear the song, and then everyone sing along to it because that's not. I'm not a musician, right? Like I can jam a bit and that's it. So, but it was nice to do that and for people to enjoy it. And but I wouldn't say that I enjoyed performing it. No, I enjoyed the kind of reaction of people, but performing it, no.
Maybe we'll thicken it out for the world tour. We'll get ourselves another guitarist.
Get an auto-tune pedal.
An
get a second guitarist so we can actually play bass.
And we'll fully learn chicken wings this time.
Yeah.
Oh, that people were really let down because Josh originally wanted to do both songs, and I'm like, dude, you can't even do even the simple one, which is like 4 notes. Chicken wings we're not doing, and then you had the idea to just play the intro and then make a gag. So we did the duh, 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 and I was like, no, I'm not joking. We're not going to put you through another song. And then everyone's like, oh. So people were actually disappointed by that, but I'm glad we didn't have to do that one. Like, that would have been easy to sing though. I think I'd have been all right singing that.
World tour. We'll make sure we nail
fucking
that.
won't.
We'll make sure we nail it. Well, that was that for the live show, and I think I did that on the night when I tried to read that Rich Mulholland's. I couldn't get Mulholland out. I was like,
Oh, thanks.
Much.
I had a correction, didn't I? I'd say Rich Mort. He probably got a kick out of me saying his name properly. And Rich brought a very nice drawing that I think it took him 100 hours.
That's bonkers,
and I believe it as well. It was a really, really cool drawing. Josh, Rich, if you're listening, just sit down. It's all right. It's not ruined, right? In packing all the shit away, Josh accidentally smashed the case it was in.
Yeah, the frame.
Fortunately, the picture is still okay, right? So I'm just going to get another frame and put it in that. So hopefully the frame wasn't some like really expensive cubic zirconium or something, I don't know. But it's all right. And thanks, Rich, for the picture. It was really
it was a quality picture, quality night, and yeah, man, let's move this thing on. Like, what else is going on in the world of beard?
We didn't even mention the queue of people afterwards.
Oh, of course, sorry, yeah.
That was, well, you don't have to apologise. That was mind blowing. I've never, like, what did you say, like 2.5 hours to meet everyone, and like take pictures and whatnot.
Yeah,
that was a humbling experience. Let me tell you, there were a couple of people that were really emotional as well. You know, like meeting me.
Yeah.
There was one or two blokes who, like, because they had said the nicest thing for me after this before is when people say, oh, you know, like, I've had a bit of a rough time, or, you know, the videos just cheer me up a bit, basically, because that's the whole point of them. Yep. And one person had told me that he'd been through, like, what sounded like a really bad time. And he's like, oh, yeah, thanks for cheering me up. And he's starting to tear up. And I'm like, oh, my God, this is making me feel a bit emotional. And a lot of people claim they hug as well. So I could tell that some people follow me on Twitter. Yep. Because when I hit 2, there's a bit of dust in the air. When I hit 2 million subscribers, I put up a post on Twitter saying, if you see me in public, give me fair warning, but, you know, come and give me a hug. And a lot of people did that. And then I took that as like a default to start hugging everyone with a beard. That just kind of happened on the night. But yeah, I think if you were in the queue, I'm really sorry it took 2.5 hours or more. But I didn't want it to be like, oh, take a picture, fuck off. Yeah. Like, so it was nice to get to talk to people for a bit.
That was the weirdest thing, right? Because like we obviously came out of the back and we just sort of like tried to chill for 5 minutes and have a drink, didn't we? And then I think my missus came running through and she's like, you need to get out there. And we were like, why? She's like, there's a queue for people that wants pictures. And we went out there and it was literally the queue was, you couldn't see the end of the queue. The whole bar was full. And again, I guess I underestimated the amount of people and then the amount of people that might want a picture, because we tried to give everybody like a chat, you know, like as sort of, that's long enough that you're respecting a conversation, but not too long that you keep pissing off waiting, 200 people. I
don't think I could have done that, but I think I got that right on the nose. Yeah, I think.
But my go-to, what I said to people was, like, we're going to be around afterwards, we're going to be mingling. I thought we'll be done in 45 minutes, we'll be just in the room. No, it was like 2.5 hours, and people had then gone, and it would, that was bonkers. And just like the best comments that we get on YouTube are the ones that, like I said before, the ones where the podcast itself is just a bit of fun. It's just two lads talking. We don't talk politics. We don't talk about anything too pressing that you might see in mainstream media. It should be a distraction, at least for an hour a week, to distract yourselves from the world for a bit.
For the very real obstacles of adult life.
So yeah, massively appreciate everyone that stayed and took a photograph with us.
Was it the same night as the Jake Paul thing as well?
No, that was the night after. That was on Saturday night.
I thought we gave some people an excuse not to sit at home and watch that.
That very real fight.
Yeah, well, actually, that was my way of because I don't want to, it's fashionable to bash Jake Paul, right? Not physically, but you know, like I don't want to mention Jake Paul for no reason. But I saw quite a funny comment on Twitter. Yes, I don't know why I saw it because I don't follow the guy, but I saw this, which I just thought I would mention because I contribute. I don't know if you've noticed, I contribute very little to this podcast. I thought I'll bring something and talk about this for a minute today. Did you see this tweet yesterday? No. I'll read this out verbatim from Jake Paul. To all the youth, put down the guns and pick up some boxing gloves to settle your differences. Violence is not the answer. Isn't boxing orchestrated violence? I mean, it's violence. You can't say pick up some boxing gloves and not be violent. I'm not saying there's no art in boxing, but it is violence.
Yeah.
That could go down as thickest tweet of the year. That dude is thicker than a fucking submarine door, that kid, I'm telling you. I mean, what do you think? Anyway.
I swear he does it on purpose because he's got to be a smart lad, surely.
Yeah, he's got to be. I guess the sentiment's there. for what we were trying to say.
I love the old, it's time to go down, Anderson. It's time to go down.
Oh yeah.
And then he hits him with a punch that he. Do you see that part?
It was a soft punch.
I don't want to be the guy because a lot of people say no, you're just a hater if you don't like Jake Paul. I don't like or dislike the guy, but I'm not buying it. You know what I mean? Well, for one, the dude's Anderson Silva, was he 50 or something?
47.
So he's nearly 50. And I don't know, man. Like he kind of goes like.
He was holding.
He thinks like.
He was pulling his punches a bit, definitely. I think.
I've not paid enough attention to that.
No,
I just can't even.
Normally I wouldn't.
Can't even. That's it. Like,
and I saw that the presser after we're on a tangent here, but I saw that I don't know why I see it. It just is on Twitter, right? I saw the presser afterwards, and he's like, "Yeah, 18 months ago, I was sat right here on the stage, and everyone was like, yo, Jake Paul's just a joke, and now people will take me seriously. I want the Canelo fight." It's like, what? That's like me, I don't know, like beating you at a game of, I don't know, one-on-one footy and saying, yeah, I'm better than Cristiano Ronaldo or something. It's just, I don't understand the logic. And I'm getting to the point now where I think he believes what he's, I get this all for marketing to make money, but I think he's starting to believe that he's like really good at boxing despite having never fought an actual, I know Anderson Silva boxed twice, right? Yeah. But do you not think like a party just thinks, let's just fight somebody that's like ranked 10th in the world in whatever weight class he is? Why not do that?
Tommy Fury, like that fight, he's a boxer. Just take any fucking boxer. Take a boxer from Leeds. Just
anyone.
Won an undercard on Josh Warrington's next fight. Just pick one of them and go fight them. Yeah. And that's a start. But
I don't know why I started talking about it. I just thought the tweet was funny.
Here's another one. Did you see that True Geordie has done an interview with Tyson Fury?
I did see that. Did he call him a tosser at the end or something?
So like I'm like, and again, I'm not seeing the full interview. I saw like the last sort of. There was like a summary of it on Twitter, and True Geordie dude's like, you know, why are you fighting Chisora? Like, you know, and he was being quite respectful from what I saw. It could have been a different interview altogether if you watched the 90 minutes off 6 or whatever it is. But it seemed like he was saying, you've already beat him twice. Why would anybody be asked about this fight? You know, like
I think I kind of see it from, but I hate, but we're going on about boxing here, but like I hate all the politics. I get the fact that there should just be one belt or two belts or something, man. The fact there's fucking 7 belts makes it so hard to and they could always duck each other. You know what I mean? Like if you don't want to fight somebody, it'd be a bit like in like competitive eating. I'm gonna make the comparison, right? But imagine like I've got like some belt from some bullshit organization, right, for having won some contest, right? Yeah. And then me not being part of the same thing as Joey and being like, yeah, I'm the champ of the world. It's like, well, and I could duck Joey forever. Yeah. And I'm not saying that they'd intentionally do that, right? But the whole thing with the Fury Joshua thing was like, that was so, it was wild. Like one second he's like, I'm going to do it, right? I'm retired. And now I'm not retired. And now I'm retired again. Now I'm not retired. I'm coming out, but it's got to be on free TV. And now I want £500 million. And it's like, what, man? You sound like you've got something. You've got like 7 personalities, like that movie Split. You know what I mean? Like, what? I don't get it. I couldn't imagine.
I'm alive. I'm dead. I'm alive again. That's a meme, isn't it? I'm dead again.
I'm dead. I'm alive.
But I'm not a massive boxing fan, right? I watch the big fights. I'm a casual viewer, but I can't imagine back in the day Mike Tyson being like, oh, I don't want to fight this guy, you know, I might get knocked out. I think he'd probably just fighting for a fucking corned beef sandwich or something, you know what I mean? Just to punch his face in. So that's what I hate about it all, man. It's like, just do it. Just either do it or don't do it. But I kind of get it from, I get why he would be mad, because if somebody like Chisora, who's like just a decent pro, if he's just the highest ranked of the people available at that time.
I don't even know if that's the case. Like, I don't know why. I don't know enough about the fight. I brought it up more of a case of that the real winner in that argument was True Geordie, because he got the clicks. You know, he got the reaction. And that one, I don't think that was actually his intention, because he seemed quite respectful from what I saw. But then when the interview was sort of done, but the cameras are still rolling, Tyson Fury's like, you're a tosser. You're a tosser. You're a dosser. I'm never interviewing with you again. And then he can't turn it off. It's like when you FaceTime your nan and she's like, next thing she's turned it camera around and you're looking at her fucking slippers. You're like, Nan, turn it off. I can't turn it off. So she just closes the iPad.
If that was my nan, you should be turning it around. You'd be looking at a dildo collection. Oh, God.
I think that's a
shout out to you now.
That's the end of this episode. Dildo, the armory, Adam's nan's armory.
Love you, nan. I don't even call her nan. I call her grandma. Granny.
Right. What else you want to say, mate?
Not really. I mean, just thanks to everyone that came out to the live event. I feel like this has just been a debrief. I don't know if this needs to be committed to it.
The thing is, we've spoken so much about it on the podcast that people are far and wide. Like people are in America. People came from America for the live
that
show.
dude that came from Houston. I mean, to be fair, I quizzed him afterwards. I was like, you didn't just come for this. He's like, no, I came from he's got some work thing in London. He's like, but that's not for 2 weeks, but I came in early for this. And I'm like, even that's like a commitment to come in like 2 weeks early, whatever.
Yeah.
So like, we're very grateful for that. And people came from Glasgow.
Exeter.
Funny thing that if you were the Scousers in the crowd, the Liverpool, because somebody asked me, like, we had like a little questions thing that needs to be finessed as well, because I wanted to do like a Q&A bit, but you thought the best way, I think it was a good idea was to put questions in a box, but because people were rushing in, they didn't have time to think of a question and write it down. But one of the questions to me asked me if Leeds United are getting relegated. So I was like, yeah, I think so. And then some Scousers were like, yeah, you're going to get fucking spanked tomorrow, mate. Because Leeds were playing Liverpool the day after and then ended up losing. So joke's on you. No, I'm an Arsenal fan anyway, but I do like Leeds. Like
it was Tory Mike in crowd.
Yeah, Tory Mike. People got to meet Tory Mike, yeah.
Right, that's that then. Thank you, everybody that did come out. Thanks for those that are listening. We'll be back next week with another podcast. And it's been an honour.
And a privilege.
Peace.